Game Show 2009.
Hey guys, this is Randolph here. We're at THQ headquarters just before TGS to speak to Joe Mediera. He's the creative director for Darksiders. Now Joe, what are you showing off at the game at this year's TGS?
So at Tokyo Game Show, we're showing just a small sampling of the early part of the game. It's what we feel is a nice slice of the game to just see. I mean, it's such a high traffic show, Tokyo Game Show, there's so much chaos. We wanted to keep a very small, focused experience for people to just pick up and play the game. So we stuck with something earlier on in the game. It's called the Seraphim Hotel, and it's basically where war starts when he's sent back to Earth 100 years after Earth's destruction to try and prove his innocence.
So for people who don't know, this book is sort of set within the sort of Book of Revelations. Why did you guys decide to set a game against this backdrop?
Well, we thought the setting was cool. We knew that we didn't want to fall into the trap of creating a whole new fiction from just random fantasy where it's like, in the 9th age of King whatever, the, wizards of blah blah. You just, it's too much, right? So we jump right into it with, Earth, a place everyone knows. There's heaven and hell, you get that, good and evil. Those are the main concepts. And so the 4 horsemen, they are mentioned in the Book of Revelation, but they only get like about 1 or 2 sentences each. That's it. I mean, they're never mentioned again. So everyone's heard of them, but nobody knows anything about them. And we thought, wow, that's really cool. We have a setting people already know, characters that people have already heard about, but it's still so open. I mean, we can treat them like all new characters, and that's what we did. We made a whole new mythology for them. You don't need to, be of any religion to enjoy the game or have read the Bible or any of that stuff. I mean, it's really all new stuff. It just happens to, it's like if you are familiar with the Book of Revelation and some of the characters like Azrael and the Angel of Death and things like that, they do crop up through the story, but it's, you can treat it as if it's like the X-Men or just, a comic book adaptation of those characters.
Now, you did mention these are sort of biblical characters that we're talking about. Where did you find the inspiration when you actually, came to creating the look for these guys?
Oh, the look was just straight up crazy. I mean, we didn't go, biblical with any of that stuff. Again, it's like I come from a comic book background. We wanted to treat them as if they were comic book characters. The cool thing, and it's helped us stay out of, letting the game visuals get too dark because, when you're working with subject matter like heaven and hell or whatever, it can quickly turn into, a horror game, and we wanted to keep it, fantasy adventure. It happens to take place, on Earth in the near future, but, that doesn't mean we can't turn Earth into this like crazy fantasy, demon-infested location and really play up the visuals. Comics have, really attractive heroines, big buff dudes, powerful creatures, and it just all plays perfectly into games as well, and so we just focused on that. That's what we know, that's what we do well. We always stick to what we know at Vigil. It's like, we'll never make a racing game or a sports game. These are the kind of games we love. This is the background that I'm from, and it's like, we wanted to make the game that only our studio can make.
So just before we started chatting here, you did show us a bit of the game to us, and you, I guess, showed us some of the weapons you can expect to find in it. Can you tell us about, I guess, some of the new ones that we haven't seen before?
Yeah, so some of the new ones we were showing off, I think you might have seen Death Scythe very quickly. That can replace your sword as a primary weapon, and you can also combo back and forth between any of the weapons and gear items. One of the gear items you saw was the Abyssal Chain, which you get. It has several uses. In combat, you can pull enemies toward you. You can pull objects toward you, like cars, so that if it's out of reach, you can just pull it towards you and smash an enemy on the head with it. Traversally, you'll find attach points throughout the world that you can either pull yourself to or swing across. It can also pull you onto climbable surfaces. So you'll use it in exploration as well as combat. You can, the small enemies you pull toward you and beat them up, but the bigger enemies, like even bosses, will pull you toward them. So, if you're fighting a flying creature, for instance, you can pull yourself up and do air combos on them, things like that. So that's just, every single gear item has traversal and combat usage.
Now you do have Mark Hamill in the game. He's obviously a very big fan favorite. He's voicing the character of the Watcher. Can you tell us what role that is within the game?
Sure. So the Watcher serves as your guide. Every character has, the guide, whether it's Metal Gear and you get the little radio comm, or it's Navi or whatever. It's like, hey, I'm lost. What am I supposed to do? What we thought would be cool was like to really work that character into the story and make them an integral part of it. And so the Watcher is actually, when War gets sent back to Earth, he's not trusted, so they shackle him to this creature that basically has War's like a prisoner to him almost, and so he has the power over War to kill him at any time if he feels War is straying from his mission, or if he's making allegiances that are too dangerous or whatever. And so because of that, War has a very adversarial relationship with this character, and it's like he does prod you in the right direction, but he does it in the most annoying fashion possible, because he's the type of character that abuses his power over you. I kind of look at it as like, like that prison guard that like abuses the inmates when the lights are out, kind of thing. That's how the Watcher is. He's a big old jerk. You'll wish that you didn't have to ask for his help throughout the game, because he'll do it. He'll humiliate you, and hopefully by the end of the game you just want to completely kill this character. And you may get a chance. Who knows?
Hey, Mike Hamill sounds perfect for that. Just finally, then, you have had a really interesting career so far. You started off at Marvel. You worked on the X-Men and Spider-Man series. Now you're working in games. What do you prefer? Like, which is more rad, I guess?
More rad. I think games are very exciting. It's something I've been passionate about since I was a kid. I get to go to places like Tokyo for the Tokyo Game Show, stuff like this. It's all a dream, and I think, it's hard to say. Obviously, I couldn't have done this without my comic career, so it's kind of like one feeds the other. So I guess in a way, I'm not going to answer your question. They're both too cool. How about that?
Okay, Joe, one last question then. Can you tell us when Darksiders is out and what platforms we can expect it on?
Yeah, Darksiders coming out for 360 and PS3, and it's coming out in January of 2010.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.